Assalamualaikum and hi guys. I am so excited to share with you that I'm going to start a new series called Peace in Pieces, where I talk about mental health and also bipolar disorder type 2 from someone who has been diagnosed with it for a few years now, and I'm going to share with you my experience, my journey, and also I'm going to answer some of the questions that you guys ask me about any of these two. So if you guys want to know more about it, keep on watching. For episode 1, I'm gonna answer the most common question that I got every single time I told someone I got bipolar disorder, which is, how do you know that it's time for you to seek professional help? Well, to be honest, most of the time you actually don't know that you need help because our mind kind of like train or trick ourselves that we are doing fine, even though deep down you know that you are not doing fine. This is because mental illness is something that is very hard to see with your naked eye, and that is why most of the time we kind of like deny ourselves that we are struggling with something. We kind of like invalidate ourselves that we are struggling in something. And if you are someone who compares your struggles with other people's struggle, there's a higher chance for you to not accept that you need help, because you can have this thought of like, whatever that I'm feeling is not as bad as that person, so I'm just overreacting. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things that you guys can check for yourself to see whether is it time for you to seek professional help or not. Whatever that I'm going to share in this series is not for me to tell you that you can self-diagnose yourself, okay? So just know I'm just sharing my experience, my knowledge that I have, and this is just like an awareness for you and not for you to diagnose yourself, okay? I'm not a doctor, I'm not licensed for anything else, whatever, all that. I'm just sharing with you. So let's go to the 5 things. If you have any of these 5 things, then it's time for you to seek professional help. Number 1, normally, if you're feeling sad because of something, that doesn't mean you have depression. If you're feeling anxious, that doesn't mean you have anxiety disorder, and so on. But if you're feeling a specific emotion for a very long period of time, 1 week or more than that, then it's time for you to check whether there's something wrong with you or not. And number 2 is, if whatever that you're feeling, whatever that you're struggling is affecting your daily life. These 2 things is related with one another. Sometimes you're feeling too depressed that you can't do your work, you can't do your job, you can't do any task that you're supposed to do on that day. And this could be because you are struggling with something. I'm saying struggling with something because I'm not saying that you have mental illness. You could be in a phase of stress, you could be actually facing burnout, and you could be mentally struggling with mental illness. So these 3 things are very different with each other, so make sure you go check yourself for that, okay? So number 3 is very obvious, which is if you start to endanger yourself. Endanger yourself can be both mentally and physically. Physically is very obvious. If you start, harming yourself, doesn't matter anyways. If you even have a thought that you want to harm yourself, then that is actually a sign for you to seek help. And if you are struggling with like suicidal thoughts, that could also lead that you need help, okay? And number 4 is to gain knowledge. Yes, for you to know whether you actually need help or not is to have knowledge about it. Like, there's a lot, like so much information out there on Google, on social media about mental health and mental illness. So you guys can just read through it. You can go to courses or workshop about it to know, like, am I actually facing that? Going to all these things, right? Learning about it is actually good for you to understand yourself. I'm saying this based on my experience. Was I have friends who have major depressive disorder, MDD, and during that time I was like quite a newbie in mental health and mental illness thing, so I don't know how to help my friends about it. So that's when I started to read a lot about depression, a lot about helping people who are struggling mentally, and I even go to workshop and seminar just for that. But then I realized after joining all of that, right, after learning all of that, I kind of like found the same symptoms happening to me, my body and my mind. And that's when I think like, okay, I think I'm struggling with something, but I don't know what. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, the last thing is you need to surround yourself with good people, because I believe that if you are surrounded with good people around you, right, they will always want to see the best version of you. So if they see that you are struggling with something, I believe that they will tell you that maybe it's time for you to seek help and do something about it, because I know you're struggling, I know you're not okay, and it's okay for you to seek help. So that is what I believe. If you check for all these things, right, all the 5 things that I mentioned before, then it's time for you to seek help. So in this video, I just want to tell you guys that it's okay for you to seek help. It's okay for you to not feeling okay, and it's okay to ask help from someone. Sometimes we think that if we seek help from people, it means that we are weak, right? But honestly, if you help yourself, you are stronger than who you think you are. And I'm saying this because for me, seeking help was the best decision ever, the best thing that I did for myself, because wherever I am right now, whoever I am right now, free of all the chaos in my head and not having a very bad mood swings and all of that, was the greatest feeling of my life. So if you are struggling, it's okay for you to seek help. If you think that trying to seek professional help for mental health is expensive, you can start going to a government one. But of course, there's pros and cons for it. You can go to a government clinic and request to see a counselor. And if you're in Malaysia, it's only 1 ringgit, guys. It's only 1 ringgit for every session that you go at a government clinic. So you can start from there, and you can see if you're struggling more, if you're facing more symptoms and everything, you can request to see a psychiatrist. If you're seeing a psychiatrist at a government hospital, it's only 5 ringgit. 5 ringgit is including everything, okay, the treatment and also the medication. So yeah, I think that's all. I just want to remind you guys that it's okay for you to seek help. It's okay if you need help, and just know it's not bad for you to seek help. It doesn't mean that you are crazy. It doesn't mean that you are weak. It just means that you yourself also want to be the best version of yourself. Just know it's the best decision that you could have made for yourself. So if you are struggling, I hope you stay strong, okay? And that is all for episode 1. I'm gonna talk more about bipolar disorder and how I'm being diagnosed and all in my upcoming episode. So thank you for watching.